Bedu manu liellu bedu esparbedu niebedai Bedu manu liellu bedu esparbedu niebedai Ramtai ramtai radirididi ramtai ridi rallalla Likku bedu zemmak men yappariga hayu zieddadam Likku bedu zemmak men yappariga hayu zieddadam Ramtai ramtai radirididi. Shalom everybody, my name is Tal. I'm from Ramat Gan, Israel, and a few years ago I started supporting an amazing project in Kenya, East Africa, and it's a project of girls fighting for girls against female genital mutilation as well as forced marriage in early age. And a dear friend of mine has established a community, a school for these girls. And along with the girls, she also rescues widows who are considered kind of cast off from society once they become widows. So she built villages for these women, and I was searching for a way to help them make money without spending money. So the first thing that came in my mind was something you can find in plenty everywhere in the world. Empty recycled plastic bottles, and you can turn these into these. I was searching over the net for ideas of artifacts from recycled plastic, and I came across an amazing video that explains how to create these flowers. This video was of a lady from Indonesia, and then I learned to make it, and I taught them as well how to make it among other artifacts from recycled plastics. So today we'll concentrate in how to make these recycled flowers that look just like glass. Make sure you get the sticker out. Then wash the bottle well with water, and then mark with a marker just approximately where you want to cut it. I suggest we cut it right here in this line where it starts bending, and also here. And this one we should divide into three, like 1, 2, 3. You can use what we call in Hebrew Japanese knife, sakin Japanit. Do not throw these to the garbage, you will need them later. Also this you can keep for a later use. Now, remember, we want to divide these into 3. So I made the lines, doesn't have to be precise on the millimeter, just approximately. The good thing about these flowers, the more it is uneven or unprecise or even deformed, the more, the better. Cutting right here. Now here. Here is one. And now cutting here in the middle. This is the time maybe to grab some paper and dry the water you used for washing them from the inside. Make sure you wash them, otherwise if it was only for water, then you don't need to wash, but if it was any kind of juice, it's better to wash with water, otherwise it gets sticky and unpleasant to work with. Each one of these we are going to divide into 3. So I'm taking the marker. Once you are experienced, you don't need to use markers anymore, but as a beginner, it's better to do like this, just, you know, approximately even 3. This one becomes a bit wider, but again, as I mentioned, it doesn't matter. They don't have to be precise. Do the same with all the 3 of them, and then cut it as well. Now, once you get this, you need, for 1 flower, you need 4 of these. Once you get it, here I'm going to get another one, which I marked already. You may be able to see. I marked something that looks a bit like a flower. I'm going to mark one once again right in front of you to show you. So this point we mark just like that, and this point like that. Everywhere we mark, we are going to cut with the scissors later on, like that. Now, oh, one more. We made it round without sharp edges, and then this place in here we will form a hole. Later on I will show how to make the hole. Now we are going to mark and then cut also here, something like that. See? And exactly the same at all the 4 directions. Here and here as well. Make sure that you don't mark it too close to the dot, to this dot. Now here, and this one is ready to cut. So I cut the edges at first, just to make it more comfortable for myself. Okay, now all the edges are smooth and not sharp. And now I'm going to cut here just like that. And I turn it around. It is not exactly on the line that I drew, but that's fine. As I mentioned before, it really doesn't have to be precise. Again, also here. And the same hole, 4 sides. Sorry. Okay, this one is ready. After you got 4 of these, then it's time to warm them up. Make sure you do it outdoors. If you're not able to do it outdoors, just use these Corona masks. And even outdoors, you can still use those masks, because once you warm up the plastic, any kind of plastic, it releases some poisonous gas. I believe if you do it once in your life, it wouldn't hurt you. But if you do it like I did, something like 500 pieces of these, I just got a special mask that is also proof against all kind of gas. Just get your candle lighted. If you do it outside like I do it right now, you got to make sure that there is no wind at all. If there is a little wind, it almost wouldn't work. Now I'll try to give it an angle so you will be able to see well how I'm doing it. You can see the fire. So I get this slightly above the fire, like that. See what happens? I'm going to cut it a little more here. It turns as I didn't cut them deep enough. And once again, make sure you are not getting too close to this dot. See this dot? Don't get too close to it. And now, see what has just happened? It opened. And then it gets the kind of shape or form as it was made of glass. Usually, when you do this process, it becomes bent, just like that. It bends. So you can just hold it open by force, like this. Hold it open, put it a bit above the fire, and then it will get the exact shape that you want it to get. Keep holding it for a few seconds till it gets cool. You see? Now it stays open. Now it's time to warm up all the edges over here. There is a little bit wind, that's why it takes more time for it to heat up. When there's no wind, the fire is there still. It's much easier and quicker to warm up. Just like that, just look. You can also warm it up a little bit here to make it even more kind of uneven. Then it really gets the look of a glass. So make 4 of these, and once you have 4 of these ready, it is time to shape them. At first, make all the 4 of them wide open, just like that. And then you want them a little bit more closed. And the one inside, you want very closed. So just do like that. Look. Like this, I'm closing it as the inside of the flower. And then down where the hole, or the black dot that we've seen before, you put it right above the flame. And you let it reshape just as the way you pressed it. Just like that. Once again, this flame is not strong enough because of the slight wind outside. Now, it pretty much remains the way you want it to be. So, here are some other that I prepared before. This is of, if I'm not mistaken, it's San Benedetto soda water. This is the color of their bottles, which are really nice light blue colors. So here is one which is wide open, another one wide open, a third one which is half closed, and a fourth one which is very much closed. So I'm going to turn this candle away now, and look. The one which is totally closed, the one which is half closed goes underneath, and then this one which is totally open goes underneath, and then this one which is also open goes underneath but upside down like that. And then it becomes a beautiful looking kind of glass flower from recycled plastic bottle. Now it's time to show you how to form them into a flower. We are using this metal. Let's make it approximately 30 centimeters long. We'll use this to cut it. And then at the end we catch the end. We hold the hand like this, and then we bend it just like this, approximately like this. And then I hold it right here and get it a bit like that, approximately like this. We can do something like this. And of course it doesn't have to be exactly like that, it doesn't have to be precise like that. Then we are going to form the flower. We take the closest one, and you see this hole. Remember, we marked the hole at first. We can form the hole in two different ways. One way is to take this wire, little piece of wire, and warm it in the fire. Make it really, really hot so you can easily form the hole with it. If you choose to make many of these, then you can purchase these. They are usually very cheap. Electronic pen. Plug it into electricity, it becomes very, very hot, and then you can easily form the hole with that. Here I made the holes in advance already, so here is first one, and then second one, already starting to look like a flower. Third one, and remember the fourth and the last, we're going to put it opposite to give us the impression that the flower is really well opened. Here again is how a flower looks from totally clear bottle. Most plastic bottles are totally clear, and I personally like them when they are a bit colorful. You can also take permanent markers with different colors and just color the whole bottle with thick permanent markers, yellow, red, purple, whatever you like. After you did this, now it's time to wrap the stem. Remember, I told you to keep these, not throw them. Look what we do with these. We cut stripes of approximately 5 millimeters wide. Okay, that should be enough. See, we have all these. Once again, make sure it's approximately ½ centimeter. Look what I'm doing. I'll start from here. I take this and I wrap it let's say approximately like 10 times around the stem of the flower, maybe even 15 times. And once I've got this, see how I wrap them? I put them above the fire, and then it will not be unwrapped. It will just stay sticked to the stem. Make sure you don't get this piece too close to the fire, otherwise it will just melt and tear off. Okay, now after I got this is the time to drag it down towards the flower. And then it keeps the flower tied to the end. Once again, I know this is challenging. It's not very simple to make it, especially if you are doing it for the first time. And after I wrap it a few more times, I bring it just above the fire once again. Just like that. Round, round, round. Now, at this point, I would like to add a leaf. If you choose to make your flowers colorful, it's nice to make the stem and also the leaves with green color. So as you may be able to see, this bottle is a very light, clear green. I marked lines in where I'm going to cut with the scissors. Also here, and I marked, just for myself. You don't really have to do it. I chose to mark them in this way to form leaves, and now I'll show you how I make them. I use this knife once again over here. Then I can continue with the scissors. We will use this to cut the strips which we wrap around the stem of the flower. All this will be used for the long stripes that we will wrap around the stem. Just like that, all the way. Remember, 5 millimeters, half a centimeter, all the way. Now, here I marked exactly where I want to cut, so I'll have pretty much equal pieces. Once again, it has been washed with water, so I'm going to dry it out. It will be more pleasant to work with. Now, in order to turn this into a leaf, I will draw the leaf on it. Approximately like this, and then here is the leaf. Just like that. Doesn't have to be precise or even at all, because we are going to warm it up and deform it anyway. Here is a leaf. Warming up the edges of the leaf. And I'm holding here and here, and I pull them and then warm it in the middle. See what came out? Beautiful leaf, looks like it's made of glass. Now I attach this sleeve right here, like that, and I wrap this plastic strip around the base of the leaf, and I warm it to make it permanent. So it's already permanent. The sleeve is permanently attached. And then I can continue what I did till now. And I continue rolling it back on the stem to make sure the top will not be too sharp with the metal wire. Now that should be enough. So here the flower is ready. Once again, I will mention that if we do it in a place where the air is totally still, no wind at all, it would work much better, and maybe with a little bigger flame also. A regular candle. This candle is almost finished, so a regular long candle would be great. So good luck with it and enjoy.